Hey everyone, welcome back to Rooted in the Ozarks. Today we are going to be making a play on some Thai basil rolls, so some fresh spring roll type thing, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. So we're going to get started with our noodles. So if you wanted to do this, and use the rice noodles, you're more than welcome to do that. I've got really into zucchini noodles, or zoodles as I like to call them, so that's what we're going to be using today. So we're going to lay out a paper or a dish towel here because we're going to have to drain these. So we've got 3 good sized zucchinis here. We're just going to cut the top of it off here. Set that to the side. We're going to get our handy dandy little spiralizer here, and we're going to put this on the thin setting. So we want these to be, a little bit on the thinner side. So we're just going to take and start making some noodles out of this. The reason why we want to do this first is because zucchini's got a lot of moisture in it. And so we need to lay these out, sort of let them get some of that water out of there so you don't end up with a watery mess. And this is awesome. It's super low carb, really good for you. You can eat a ton of it, especially, if you're growing it in the summertime or, you buy a bunch at the farmer's market and you're trying to figure out what to do with all of them. This is perfect. So when you get down to this part, we're going to take this end over here. And this is where all the seeds and so we will lay these out here, just sort of spread them out. And if you wanted to, not include the peels, you could leave those out. I tend to put them in there for the color, and I think they're still really good. You can also do this with yellow squash. You can do it with carrots. It's a little bit more difficult to do with the carrots, but it does turn out when it does, it's really good. Sweet potatoes, I haven't personally done it, but I've had some friends that have done it, and it's really good with like the peanut sauce that we're gonna make here in a little bit to go on this. So you can really sort of alternate to what season you're in. Spaghetti squash, you could also use that in the fall. Okay, so now we've got our 3rd zucchini here. And one reason why I really like using the zucchini as opposed to spaghetti squash is because with spaghetti squash you don't get very long noodles, but with the zucchini ones you can get super long noodles. It's awesome. Yeah, like massive. So cool. Okay, so now that our noodles are done, we're going to move on to our veggies that are going to go on this. So you can really add in any veggies you want to. You can add in your proteins. So if you want to do like some chicken or some shrimp or anything like that, you could add that in there. We're just going to do all veggies today. So I've got 1 red bell pepper. We're just going to cut the top of that off and the bottom. Okay. And I like using the red for the sweetness and for the color that it adds in there as well. So we're also going to add in some cucumber and also some red cabbage. So I'm going to take these, put them right over here. We'll add them in at the end. And this is nice too because, if you've got your bell peppers and your cucumber already cut up for you in the fridge, then you can throw this together super, super quick. So we want to cut down the middle. And again, we want to get the seeds out of this. So we're just going to take a spoon and just sort of go where you can see the outline of the seeds and just sort of scoop around that. That's also going to help keep the moisture out of this, so it's not real liquidy and gross. All right, so we've got that out of there. Now we want to take and we're just going to cut some thin slices of this as well. And I'm going to cut those right in half, be about the same size as the bell pepper slices that we did. We're going to move on to our cabbage. You can use any type of cabbage you like. We're going to use a red cabbage here, Napa cabbage, green cabbage, any of them will work great with this. So we're just going to take and cut this straight down the middle. And we're only going to use about 1/4 of this. So we just really want this on here mainly for the crunch. So we're going to cut the core out of here. Since this is a smaller head, I'm not going to cut it up anymore. It's good solid lengths right there, just beautiful. Okay, so we've got our cabbage, we've got our noodles. We're also going to be putting in some lettuce in here. So you can do a bib lettuce or just a soft type of lettuce. You can also do like kale. I've got some arugula in my garden at home, so I'll throw that in there. Gives it a sort of little spicy kick, and you also get your greens. Okay, so we're gonna take these and we're gonna chiffonade them like you would basil. So we're just gonna take a few here, get out those hard pieces there at the end. We're just gonna roll them up and then give this a quick slice. I normally don't like cutting lettuce. There's something very therapeutic about just tearing it, but this one they kind of need to be cut up for. All right, so they end up with these beautiful long pieces about the same size as our cabbage here. Okay, so our dressing that we're gonna be doing today is like a spicy peanut dressing. So we're actually, instead of using actual peanut butter, we're gonna be using peanut butter powder. So this stuff is awesome. I fell in love with it a few years ago. We finally started getting it around here, and I use it in quite a few of my cooking classes. So what this is just peanut powder. It's just dried peanuts. And since there's no oil in it or anything, we're gonna rehydrate it with some water. And I love peanut butter. If you don't like peanut butter, or you prefer almond butter, you could also substitute this and do like a spicy almond butter sauce would also be really, really good on this. Okay, so it's just a 1-to-1 ratio there of water to peanut butter powder, and makes a beautiful creamy peanut butter. Can't tell the difference in it at all. We're also going to be doing a little bit of toasted sesame oil. We'll do about a tablespoon of that, which I also love this stuff. It smells so good. It adds just the right taste to a dish. A little bit of tamari or soy sauce. And then you can add honey or maple syrup. I do like a sweet chili sauce in there. It adds a little bit more flavor to it and also adds some sweetness. So, about a tablespoon of that. Some ginger powder. If you wanted to use, if you had fresh ginger, you could definitely use that. Do a teaspoon of that in there. And a few red pepper flakes. You could use, like a sriracha or a spicy sauce like that in here. I like the little effect that the red pepper flakes gives it. It's not completely super hot all over, but you might get a bite that's nice and toasty and warm, and that's always nice. All right, so we just want to stir this up. We're gonna add just a little bit more water in here. And if you end up adding, too much liquid in there, you could, if you're using the peanut butter powder, you could just add a little bit more of the powder, and that would thicken it back up. It's a good stir. And the last thing we're gonna add in there is lime juice. You could also do like a vinegar or a rice wine vinegar if you wanted to. I like the little hint that lime gives it. I also like to serve lime on the side. So then, you can use juice from one part of it and then serve the other half there. And that adds just the kick to make it just wonderful. So you want to taste it, see if you need to add anything else. If it's not spicy enough, you could go ahead and add some more of your red pepper flakes or your hot sauce if you're using that. And this is good. I think we need to add a little bit more of the sesame oil. And as well as a few more red pepper flakes. This also keeps well, so if you really like this, you can have it on chicken, you can have it on any other salads, as a dipping sauce. So you can make maybe, like twice as much, keep it in the fridge. Okay, so now we're gonna get started assembling our spring roll bowl here. So we're gonna take our noodles, just sort of take your towel and press around them like that. You could also throw them into your skillet if you wanted to and cook them. I just like to serve them raw. So we'll put those on the bottom here. And now we'll just assemble it. So we've got our lettuce that we're gonna add on here. And just sort of put it around here. You could do it in sections if you want to. I like to spread everything across it anyway. That way, you don't have one section that maybe doesn't get everything, because you kind of have to have all of it for the right effect here. Okay, so we've got that on there. Let's go ahead and do our cucumber slices here. And our red peppers. A few more on there. Okay, and our carrots. So we'll grab 2 of the carrots out of here. We're going to shred these up real quick. Don't want to stick those in there. I'm going to peel these really quick. Let me get down to the pieces. If you feel a little bit uncomfortable, you know, going over the grater with it, keep it to the side, and that is your snack to eat. Perfect. Beautiful, bright, vibrant orange color. We'll add that on the top. Sort of go around the edges here with that. Beautiful. So that's probably about one carrot there. We're also going to add some fresh herbs to this. So we've got some mint here. I've got mint and basil that I actually have in my garden. So we've got our basil here. And we're just going to roll this up and we're going to chiffonade this as well. If you don't like cilantro, you don't have to add it in there, but this combination of these 3 together in this is just perfect. So we're just going to give this a rough chop. You don't have to worry about the stems or anything like that. You get a lot of flavor out of that in the cilantro. Take and just sort of sprinkle them on the top here. That's going to add a lot of flavor without being, you know, super overbearing as well. Now we're going to do a little bit of our dressing here. And I usually like to just drizzle just a little bit across there, but not too much. That way, you know, it doesn't get soggy or anything like that. Okay, perfect. You can also, you know, have some peanuts there and just sort of crush those up, add those on top. What I like to add instead is hemp seeds. So these little guys pack a lot of punch. They've got a lot of protein, a lot of fiber. They're very low in carbs. They have a really great flavor to them. So we're going to take and sprinkle these on top instead of the peanuts. So we'll do about a tablespoon. Last thing, our green onions. I like to cut them instead of slice them. That way they don't get mashed down. And then we're just going to take and sort of cut these right on top here. That is it. You end up with this gorgeous, super colorful, delicious, flavorful dinner. Very good for you. Lots of veggies in there. And it's just wonderful. It has sweet, it has spicy, you know, serve them on the side too as well if they want to add more ingredients to it. And you've got yourself a delicious meal. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Hey y'all, welcome back to Rooted in the Ozarks. Today we'll be making a springtime potato salad. So we're going to get started with our dressing on this first. So instead of doing a mayo-based salad dressing on this one, we're going to do a vinegar-based one. So it's going to be a little bit, you know, healthier for you, a little bit more at ease as far as, you know, being out at like a barbecue or a picnic or something, you know, with something that has mayonnaise in it. So we're going to get started with our olive oil. We're going to do 1/4 a cup of olive oil in this. We'll get that added in there first. And I think that's exactly what I had left in my bottle. It was meant to make this potato salad. The next thing that we're going to add in here is apple cider vinegar. So we'll pour that right in there. I'm going to do a little bit of just yellow mustard. You can use, you know, mustard powder if you have that. I use about maybe half a teaspoon. Dijon mustard, I just like regular yellow mustard myself. So we've got that in there. We're also going to do a little bit of lemon juice. So we're going to cut this lemon in half right here. And it's also going to be the one sort of ingredient that ties everything together as well. So let's get our pour ready. Get that added in there. All right. We want to give this a stir. And since we have, you know, lemon juice, mustard, and vinegar in there, we also want to add just a pinch of sugar in there. That's just going to help to sort of counteract all of that and not make it quite so bitey. Okay, so we've got that. We're going to add some fresh herbs into it now. So back here I've got some beautiful chives that are growing everywhere right now. So we're going to get those laid out here. We're also going to be using my favorite. We've got some dill here. So we'll go ahead and lay that out. The next thing that we're going to use, you can use parsley, but if you're like me, you know, you buy a thing of parsley and then you don't use it all. So what I've found that works just as good as parsley is actually the tops of carrots. So if you're buying carrots at the market, you know, see if you can get some with the greens on. That way you get, you know, your parsley replacement as well as your carrots. So these were from a previous dish that we made. And we are just going to take a few of these here. And they're very closely related to parsley as well, so you can substitute them out. You can't tell the difference. I made it into a pasta salad last night, and it was absolutely perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and give these a nice chop here. And it's also nice because it's not too, it doesn't taste like, oh, these are carrot greens, but it has like a nice flavor to it, and it really complements everything else that's in this dish. Okay, so we'll get those thrown in there. Scoot those over to the side. Now we're gonna get our fresh dill in here as well. It smells so good. And we're gonna put this in the salad as well, but we wanna give this dressing a nice little dill flavor to it as well. So we'll just roughly chop this up here. Add it in there. And then our chives. So we're gonna get our scissors. And if you don't have chives, you know, you can just go ahead, maybe just throw a couple more green onions in there. It's totally fine. This is just something just to add to the flavor of this dressing here. That one off there. And I find it's easier to cut these with scissors than actually cut them with a knife, just like the green onions. Okay. So we got our chives in there. I'm gonna give this a good stir again. Perfect. Now we gotta get our garlic in there. All right. Get our garlic mincer out here. Put these three in. Spin it around. All right, perfect. I'm gonna get this right in here. Got a few up here that got stuck, so we'll get those out. All right. Give this a quick stir, and now we're gonna add our salt and pepper. And as you can see, it's not super liquidy. You know, we've got lots of our nice green herbs in there that's really gonna just infuse this. And we don't want this to, you know, just be sitting in a liquid. So this is really just enough that's gonna coat everything and just make it super flavorful. We'll grab our salt in there. And so you can make this ahead of time, set it in the fridge, let it chill overnight if you wanted to, infuse those flavors. I would let it set maybe for about 30 minutes, that way those flavors can really start to develop together. So I've got my potatoes here, and these are spring potatoes. I just took them, roasted them in the oven. If you can find purple potatoes, this makes this salad absolutely stunning. If you use the purple potatoes though, make sure you do put the lemon juice on them, because that's gonna keep them purple. If not, they're gonna turn out gray and they're not gonna be pretty. So we just got our regular ones here. I did these in a little bit of lemon juice, olive oil, and dill, and salt and pepper. And it's so much better when they're roasted instead of boiled. It adds a nice sort of crispy texture to this potato salad. So we've got them right here. We're gonna get our veggies to go in here. So we'll get started with some radishes. That also adds a nice little spicy note to it. You know, it also adds a little bit of a crunch. I like to find the Easter egg bunches here. Get some different colors going on. These purples are awesome. We've also got watermelon radishes. So these are kind of weird looking little things here. They taste so good. They're beautiful on the inside. So when you cut into this radish, you've got this gorgeous sort of color, purple fuchsia color in here. It's absolutely beautiful. And so this adds a little bit of, you know, color to this as well. So we'll get these set here. We're also gonna do our regular radishes. And we're also just gonna slice these up. You can also add in, you know, like cucumber If you want to, that also adds a nice crunch if maybe you don't want the spiciness of the radishes. You can leave it out altogether. Okay. All right, so now we've got our radishes done. We're gonna set those over here to the side. We're also gonna get in some green onions in this. So we'll grab a couple of these. Just gonna cut those there. Put these right back into the water so they can grow some more. And just start cutting these. So you can cut them over the salad if you want to. I usually like to cut them over the cutting board, that way I can add them at the end. You know, if you had some fresh spring peas, that's also something good to add in here. You know, you can just, really can't go wrong with this. Okay, so now we're gonna start putting everything together. So we've got our potatoes here. We're just gonna throw in our slices of radish. You could also slice up some turnips to put in here. Tons and tons of different things. Okay, so we've got those. We'll save our green onions for the end here. And let's get some more dill in there. This piece here. We just want to give this a nice rough chop as well. Sprinkle that over top of it. And then we can take in, sort of stir this around. Make sure that we've got it all over the thing in here. And I think we're good on the radishes. I'm not gonna add any more in there. Let's go ahead and add some of our green onions. We'll go ahead and get our dressing added onto this. So we'll start out with some and then we'll just add a little bit more. We want to make sure that we get everything coated. So this dressing is going to stick onto these radishes. It's going to stick onto these green onions and the potatoes. And we had lemon on the potatoes beforehand, so that's really, you know, going to sort of marry in together. The lemon juice is going to bring out the fresh flavor of our veggies in here. It's just wonderful. It's a super simple one to make. It's really, really pretty and tastes super delicious. All right. Get that down there. Then I'm going to grab a couple more pieces of dill. This is something, for as long as I can remember, my mom's always done it with the potato salad that she makes. She always takes a few sprigs of dill, places it right in the middle. Just take that, put some of these bigger pieces on here. Right there together. So there we have it. We've got a super simple potato salad, no mayo, delicious lemony vinegar dressing on it with some beautiful spring radishes.